Welcome to Highway Flyer. We're out riding in the Rockies and came up out of a little town in New Mexico, visited some friends there, and then rode up through Durango to Silverton and then over the $1 Million Highway yesterday. Unfortunately, didn't get any pictures, but main reason was between Durango and Silverton, we got caught in an absolute torrential downpour. We were soaked to the bone, and it was horrible, just horrible. The good news is we stopped in Silverton for a little bit and got something to eat, waited for the storm to pass over, and we ended up riding over the $1 Million Highway in beautiful, dry, partly sunny weather. And this morning we rode up out of Montrose, and we're in a town called Leadville, Colorado. Leadville is the highest incorporated town in the United States. It sits at just a hair over 10,000 feet. And it was founded in the late 1800s. It was settled in the mid 1800s, settled about 15 years later, I think. Mining town, of course. Everything up here is mining. And it's just a cool little town. Big tourist draw. It's Sunday afternoon and the place is pretty crowded. Weather's beautiful, sunny, some clouds floating through every so often, but it's about 66 degrees out. And this town's really cool. This is one of the towns where Doc Holliday came after the OK Corral, and he dealt Faro here, which is an old card game. And in fact, the last person Doc Holliday killed was in this town. So it's a lot of really cool stuff, a lot of really cool history. The ride up here is absolutely fantastic. Beautiful twisty roads. The roads are mostly in great shape. There's a few that are kind of rough, and they're working on those, paving and doing some work on. But what a fantastic ride. And fortunately, we've been able to skirt the thunderstorms for the most part. Just beautiful. So enjoy the pictures. There's more to come. I'm out on the road for probably another 2 weeks before I make my way back home. Well, continuing our Rocky Mountain high, we stayed in Georgetown last night. It's just a bit above 8,000 feet elevation, and decided to climb Berthoud Pass. No idea if I'm saying that right. Great ride up here. It's on US 40, so the road is mostly 3 lanes and climbs up the hill. A couple of great switchbacks, and this sits at 11,300 feet. And from here we're going back down the way we came and heading over to Mount Blue Sky, which used to be called Mount Evans, and that takes us up to the highest paved road in the United States at over 14,000 feet. So continuing our high up in the Rockies, like I said last time, we're up on Mount Blue Sky. It's a 14-mile ride to the top. It's the highest paved road in the U.S. and we're sitting just a hair above 14,000 feet. So it is higher than Pikes Peak. But I'll tell you what, it is a hell of a ride. It's going to take at least half an hour, 45 minutes to come up here, depending on traffic. It took us about 30-35 minutes to get up here. And the road is in reasonable shape. It's a little bumpy, especially up near Summit Lake, about mile marker 9, I guess. It gets really freaking bumpy. One thing that always freaks me out is sheer drop-offs with no guardrails, and this road has those in abundance. And we're going to hang for a few minutes, but I'll have photos from the summit. And if you ever get a chance to do it, you gotta do it. You do need a reservation to ride this road, so you go to recreation.gov and you get that. We're going to head down the mountain, so stay tuned. So we're not really that high up. We're about 7,300 feet, and we're at the Buffalo Bill Museum and Buffalo Bill's grave. Kind of a cool setup. Nice grounds. And some pretty amazing view. It overlooks Denver and all out that way. A little more of the view. Looking down just past the towers is Denver. and looking out beyond. I don't think I'd be one of the guys that climb up in those towers, though. Well, after riding around what seemed to us like the top of the world, we had planned on staying with some friends near Colorado Springs. We'd been dodging thunderstorms for the past couple of days and took a day off just to hang out. Now, their house sits at about 6,600 feet, and I love thunderstorms, as long as I'm not riding in them. We had just rolled into their place about an hour before this particular storm hit, and it was absolutely beautiful. The next day, we took a trip down to Colorado Springs to visit the Garden of the Gods. First discovered in 1859, Charles Perkins, then the head of a railroad, purchased 240 acres for a planned summer home. He added to the property but never built on it. And in 1909, after he died, the Perkins family turned over the now 480-acre park to the city of Colorado Springs. As part of the agreement, it was to be known as the Garden of the Gods and remain free to the public. This was the final part of my Rocky Mountain High trip. This place is amazing. So thanks for coming along. There's more adventures from this trip coming, so stick around. Keep your knees in the breeze, and hopefully I'll see you on the road.